whatever, you know. So that's nice. It's a luxury. So I want to, you guys go with me covering the supplements thing and tearing into that, and we'll take 20 minutes to go through a cleaner version of a cut on supplements where I focused it and did what I needed to do. And then we'll cut to some Q&As, some updates, some questions, and then I'll tell you a couple other things I've got. I've got the audio modules. I had to upload them to EasyS3 so you guys can download them for the meditation. I've got I got Mike Ryan on this afternoon, so we got some stuff out there. I got some good lessons from Mike, so start with that. First, let's see. Let me do a quick and organize things. I can't share the camera, so I don't get to share the camera when I'm on this one. I don't understand why that is, but it's not. I like the camera thing, so it's kind of a bummer. Oh, that was bad. You got that echo again? Like, okay, so I'm good, right? It's not echoing. Nope, I need a camera. Okay, I'm gonna...
You are now muted.
Mute the line, all right. That way I can scream and no one has to listen to me echo off their machine. You guys can talk to me on the chat if you want. I will check that. But I'm gonna start this presentation real quick. Okay, where's my screen share? Why did it just stopped running the screen all of a sudden? That was great. Technology. What's the problem with this thing, man? Hold on a second while I get this thing running. It was double running. Okay, so a simple straight cut on supplements today without the video camera, so you can't see me, unfortunately, because I like waving. That box is that box. All right. So quick run through this. Try not to keep it get it too confusing. I think you learned a lot from my last attempt. Now, I went through this, you guys, with you before. I think I covered this, but you know, this is an organizational system. Interesting. It's kind of like one Will Brink referenced in his discussion. Although it's a different organizational. There's a pyramid of performance nutrition that he had talked about, and his was more based on proof. This one's looking at things that support life, things that are, you know, about optimal health, micronutrients, and then things that enhance life performance, you know, like really targeted performance supplements. So it gets increasingly targeted at the top. So foundational stuff. I mean, the problem with what we do with training, with fitness, with supplements, is that people are always starting from the top up here. They're always like, they're most interested in, you know, especially the youth. They're most interested in the most obscure, obtuse thing, and they haven't covered the foundation. They're not drinking enough water, they're not eating the right foods, they're not eating well, they're not treating their body in an optimal health way. So, you know, it's just, you know, start with water, eat the right macronutrients as proteins, essential fats, vitamins, mineral nutrients that support optimal health, and then select performance supplements as needed for specific performance needs. You know, whether it be muscle building, speed, recovery, whatever it is. But this is the proper logical way to go about things because, as you would see from the pyramid, the ones on the bottom have the wider, deeper impact. If you're not eating right, taking a fat loss supplement's a waste of time and a silly thing to do. So I started with my top 10 list, and I kind of started marking them whether performance or health. It's interesting because creatine was originally very much a performance, like the retro branding here, very much a performance supplement, but it has become so much more of a health staple, optimal health staple. You know, just with the energy, the cognitive, you know, for lean muscle, athletic performance for certainly, mental acuity for sure, overall energy, yes, longevity, yes. So creatine, the more it's been discovered or more it's been researched, the more profoundly influencing of life quality it has. I saw some comments on the creatine and the way it was taken. And I posted a couple studies, or I do that occasionally, like some stuff from Professor Andrew on Subversity. And, you know, he'll get into those great creatine studies before or after this or this. And then if you read it far enough or long enough, you see at the end he's just saying, and ultimately it doesn't really matter, just take what you know, do what you're doing. So I'm just saying, you know, once again, you know, before or after, it's just, make sure you can get it in your system. The rest of it's all slicing hairs to make a story. Omega-3s I have in the top of my list. You know, optimal health makes you smarter. Joint health fights inflammation. It's great for mental health and depression, you know, combating depression. It's great for getting more optimal, healthier cholesterol, triglyceride levels, heart health, heart, body, mind. Blood glucose helps with insulin sensitivity. So does protein, so does whey protein. We'll talk about it. And then I didn't actually, that's kind of silly, I didn't actually have whey protein on here. That was done. Oh, well, I'll add that. That was, you know. So I think of omega-3 as an optimal health component. It certainly has performance benefits, you know, but it's really not a performance supplement. But certainly a top 10. Insulin sensitivity, blood glucose sensitivity. Coenzyme Q10, it's one I'm really big on. It is a molecule that exists in the cell's mitochondria. Mitochondria are the engines of our energy, of our body, of our life, in our brain, in our muscles, in our body that keep things moving. Plays a critical role in producing energy. It has really strong antioxidant properties. 50 to 200 milligrams daily, usually taken once with meal, just how to take it. CoQ10 can be a little bit confusing because of the different types, ubiquinone or ubiquinol. Ubiquinone is the fully oxidized form. It tends to be more expensive. It doesn't mean ubiquinol doesn't work. Ubiquinol works in a gel cap if it's gelled and maintained in there. If it's powdered version of the ubiquinol, it usually is inert and it's given up its donor, so it doesn't work. It's a 200 milligram soft gel, which isn't going to be a cheap product, although, you know, I've recommended this before, but I told you Whole Health. I'll put a link up to Whole Health. It's as good a place as any. They're right across the street. They run really good. They build the products well. They service and deliver well. They're not a great flashy marketing company. They don't do anything great in marketing. The website's reliable and clean and simple. I used to carry some of their products, but the CEO, who was my friend, went to another company because he got bored with it. So don't have a insider relationship with them at this point, but I may again. CoQ10, great product. I think, you know, it's more than over 40 things. If you're taking statins or something, it's essential if you're in any kind of cholesterol lowering medication, really, because it just robs your body of CoQ10. So that would be 100 milligrams. 100 milligrams is a good dose. 200 milligrams is more optimal. 50 is kind of low end, but it's something. It's the 5th most popular supplement in the United States, taken by 53% of Americans. Now that's interesting. Okay, I said that before, but I still think it's interesting. Big drink of water. Saw Palmetto. A lot of people didn't know or hadn't heard of this one. I talked to BPH, benign prostatic hypertrophy. That means your prostate is growing or swelling or something, so it really combats that. It has some capacity to optimize testosterone. I don't know that it directly, there's been some studies or some reference that it may support better testosterone, but it's not only just going to boost testosterone as much as it helps limit or hinder the conversion of testosterone to estrogen and DHT, and DHT is the side effect. So it's going to keep testosterone more in testosterone form, which is going to shift your testosterone-estrogen ratio. But really what you're taking saw palmetto for, or saw palmetto plus like this formula, is prostate health, and really, if you're doing anything to optimize or to excuse me there, anything to optimize testosterone or boost testosterone, this is helpful in preventing the conversions and side effects that can come with some higher DHT levels. So saw Palmetto I put on over 40 stuff is kind of one of the essentials. I like it. Vitamin C, and this is really about the CDK. I talked about CDK before. Vitamin D, Dr. Tom talked about vitamin D, about how many people are, low on vitamin D. You see it all the time. I see it on a lot of your blood tests. The low on vitamin D. The other thing about the vitamin D, Dr. Tom brought up was, you have to take more than you think. It's 3,000-4,000. I think it's IU's a day. It's not just 50 or 100 type thing. And then vitamin C is just such a great product, such a great nutrient for inflammation, for supporting. It actually supports hormones. It reduces the conversion. It gets estrogen out of the body. It helps with insulin. It, of course, helps with bone growth. Cardiovascular health for C, D, and K. Vitamin K really is important in cardiovascular health. So I liked the CDK mix. Overall vitality health. This is very much an optimal health thing. I think vitamin C is a great supplement to take. And I like the, I think that there's reasons to do super doses and mega doses sometimes, but the 2 grams a day, 2 to 3 grams a day seems like ample amounts to me. Joint health. Now we learned some things about joint health on the Examine.com interview, which I thought was very interesting on the glucosamine. The glucosamine hydrochloride doesn't work, but the glucosamine sulfate does. So anything glucosamine sulfate, MSM plus chondroitin. So if it's a sulfate, it's a donor, it works. To strengthen connective tissue, keeps them healthy and resilient, regenerates damaged cartilage, and restores joint function. This is great if you've got joint injuries like I do, if you want healthier joints, if you're feeling like it's impacting negative way. This is an optimal health. It benefits performance. It's not a performance supplement, but it's an optimal health thing. I think that's a great choice. I do these. Greens. Drinking greens. I'd like to give you a bunch of reasons to do greens and a bunch of science, but I don't know that there's a bunch of science to the reasons to do greens. I think it just makes damn good sense to me, and I think that's okay. The phytonutrients and the overall. I feel better, and it seems like it's good for my health and my life. And I certainly think taking a pound of kale and putting it into a full strength makes a hell of a green drink too. And sometimes just a bunch of veggies does it, but sometimes this is what you've got. This is easier. It's great. It's fresh. Really like the basic greens from my buddy Luke. Big fan of them. I think he said if you send him an email, he'll set you up. He's not online with them yet, but he just came out. He's already shipping his samples. I like green drinks. Simple stated, right? DHEA. I've been off and on DHEA, yay and nay. Over the years, the more I read on it, the more I look at it, the more I'm going, yeah, I think so. I think you got to go there. It will boost your T. That's the study I posted the other day. It actually enhances fat loss outside, especially, vitality youngifying, call it youngifying. So enhancing fat loss really wasn't even testosterone related. It just seemed to increase fat loss. It does help with mental focus because it gets you back in the more optimal hormone levels. The amount, 15 to 50 milligrams per day in divided doses is the amount in reported studies. Many experts suggest limiting DHEA to under 100 milligrams per day with an absolute max of 300 milligrams per day. I'm a guy that 100 milligrams a day is a great boost if you want to do for a month. 50 milligrams a day is a supportive dose. Taking holidays from it every 2 or 3 months is a great idea. But every 3 months probably. So this is 100 milligrams. They usually come in 25 milligrams. So that's a dosage thing. I like DHEA. Multivitamin. I like multivitamins. I like it. It's good insurance. The world isn't as nutrient rich as it used to be. So I like multivitamins. This was an interesting one I found here because I was looking for multivitamins. This has saw palmetto in it, CoQ10 in it, Nellarune, lycopene. I actually think when I looked at the label, it was rich in vitamin D, K, otherwise D, K, and a little bit of C. But it really was an interesting superior men's multi. Soft gels, I like the soft gel formula, so this could really kill like 5-year stones at once up there if it has enough amounts in it. But it looks really interesting to me. So let me run through those one more time real quick. just for refresher. Creatine, number one, because that's where I put it. But I think it's great. It works. Omega-3s, gotta have them. CoQ10, I think it's a great choice. Love it. Saw Palmetto, especially if you're on any kind of hormone supportive stuff or worried about estrogens. Vitamin C, DK, excellent. Joint health. If you got to go there, if you want to go there, I like it. Drinking greens. Greens are great. DHEA seems like a great supplement. Great way to go. Multivitamin. Too damn logical for me. Proteolytic enzymes. I put these up at the top, in the top 10. They could be number 11. I don't know. I really like the concepts. I like the science. I like what I've been reading on it. The ability to reduce inflammation. They're actually killing bacteria and viruses in the body, kind of cleansing the blood. They have battle autoimmune diseases like arthritis and joint disease or joint issues. They showed where they can help delayed onset muscle soreness, so they can help. It helps get rid of that. It can help with recovery. It can help with bruising. It can help with healing. I think they're great. They make a lot of sense to me. It's something I really, really like about this proteolytic enzymes concept. So I just copied this. It's a little bit about them. I have a couple other screens I'll show you about it. These enzymes are liberated in small, intensive, inactive precursors. Yeah, I'll read it later. So the top 9 or 10, creatine, omega-3s, CoQ10, supplemental, vitamin C, D, K, glucosamine, MSM, greens, DHEA, multivitamin, and microzyme, or it's actually marcozyme, proteolytic enzymes. The rest of the best. What else do we like? I like glutamine. It fell out of the top 10. It's my favorite supplement. I like it. I get a lot of glutamine in full strength. I think having 500 a gram, 2 grams, depending, is still great. It's good for your gut health. It's good for your overall body reserves of glutamine, which is your largest amino acid pool in your body, and it's good donor for mind. Glutamine is great for controlling sugar cravings for alcohol, cravings for other things, because its donor ability. That might be one of the most important things it does. L-carnitine has become more interesting for fat loss. I've yin or yanged on it in the past, and when I read it, I go, it makes good sense. Leucine or branched-chain amino acids. The branched-chain amino acids, leucine, really the leucine's most active amino acid in there. But they do work for muscle performance and recovery. So from a muscle building, kind of a performance aspect for the top of the pyramid, a leucine-rich branched-chain amino acid or branched-chain aminos or leucine. Beta-alanine is, it's like creatine, very much like creatine. It's been proven to be as effective as creatine. I don't love it as much for some weird reason. I think that maybe I've tried some of the wrong versions of it. But beta-alanine works. It works for muscle strength and endurance. It'll probably help grow your muscles. It'll certainly help you be a better hockey player, because it's great, that 3 to 5 minute window of endurance. It's great for bikers. I like the tyrosine caffeine green tea for focus and energy. I think it's a great blend. Alpha lipoic acid is one of my favorite supplements. It's insulin potentiating. It helps balance insulin levels. It helps with weight loss and energy management. It helps with your energy overall. So alpha lipoic acid I do like. That's all there is to it. Let's see, what else? The Targo for endurance. I still have a show, Dr. Susan Kleiner. We're going to talk about the Targo. A buddy of mine did the Leadville 100 mountain bike race this weekend and used the Targo for one of the first times he used it. Loved it. Spirulina, if you've listened to the Examine.com interview on the Kryptonite Report, you get the Spirulina story. I didn't put it in top 10 yet, but it does certainly sound very interesting and healthifying, youthifying. It was very much a surprise to the researcher, so I appreciated that insight. Agmatine is another one he talked about, which is really a better version of an NO2 product. I don't think NO2 for muscle building are worth anything, but for blood pressure management and vascular health, it could be a lot. A couple exploring new ideas. This is something I might have posted on the site. I'm looking at it right now. It's a calcium D-glucarate. Kind of rids the bodies of toxins. It has a liver detox. I was looking at it for its ability to remove excess estrogens from the body, which it seems to do pretty well. It can also decrease LDL cholesterol. It seems like it's kind of a high dose and maybe a high cost item, so but it looks to be very interesting. I'm running some more research profiles on the science sites on it, trying to figure out what the story is. So I'll let you know. I think it looks interesting. This is one I've talked about a little bit. A UR spray, arginine ursolic acetate. Well, that sounds delicious, doesn't it? A repartitioning agent for fat loss and muscle gain. Who knows what else? It seems to have a lot of health benefits, so it's not a muscle builder fat loss agent that's negative. It's weird to use it because you have to spray it on your whole body. A couple times it's a spray, hence the UR spray. That would be the kind of giveaway. I just noticed there wasn't a pump on the bottle. So this stuff has been around. The ursolic acid has got some great science on it. It's been studied for a number of years, but there was no proper effective way to deliver it in the right dosage because it's not very orally accessible. So by spraying it on, you get it in your body very rapidly, yada, yada. This looks very interesting. I'm having some sent out to me and soon to my client and see how it works. And then you got the foundation. You can't forget about this. I mean, I should have had whey protein in my top 10. And I didn't put it in there because I think about whey protein in the full strength. I think about it more as, a food, but it is really a foundational performance, nutrition because it's the whole pyramid. It's the foundation. It's the optimal health, both ingredients and support, and it's the performance edge because it does produce dramatic performance, increasing in lean muscle, loss of body fat, boosting energy, increasing VO2 max. So it has a really overall upregulating capacity of the body. And I like this to add because we don't all win the genetic lottery, right? So I can't leave full strength out of there. So if you had to ask me my A list, A for absolute, what's my A list? It's hard to choose. It really is. And if I had to choose and I had to say only what I could do, creatine, no brainer. It's cheap, it's available, it's simple, it's safe, it lasts. Omega-3, you gotta have it. I don't know how you'd not have it. CoQ10, love it. Gotta have it. Multivitamin, makes me sane. Saw Palmetto, yeah, love it. My A2 list. See, I couldn't just choose an A1 list, could I? DHEA, great. Vitamin C, D, K. Glucosamine, MSM, so a sulfur compound for joints. Green drink, and a marcozyme, proteolytic enzymes. So that's my breaking the list down further. A1, A2. So that's it. Now I wanted to show you a couple other things real quick. So I got a lot of confusion here. Can you run back to the top of the 10 list so I can capture screenshot? I can send it to you, but I'll run back there. Is vitamin K and potassium the same on the label? No. Is there any difference between fish oil and flaxseed omega-3s? Yeah, flaxseed's a good fish oil. I mean, it's a good omega-3. It's not a great omega-3. It's not as available. Flaxseeds have some downsides for some prostate health and some other things for men. I'm okay with flaxseed, but I like the whole flaxseed. The flaxseed oil I have not felt nearly as effective as fish oil. It doesn't have the science supporting it, and it actually has a couple negative science pieces to it for men, especially. So the flaxseed oil has not. The pyramids in Egypt have stood long because of great foundation. Thank you. Great point. All right, so I got some questions answered. I'll run back up real quick. And I can just send you I can send the whole deck out to you guys too. Willing to capture that. Welcome to capture that. So let me see what else I had on here. This was a story I was reading on 4 reasons you should take calcium glucarate. And it's ridding the toxins, cancer prevention, liver detox, removing excess estrogen and LDL. I did test this or check it against my science panel and staff, so they're looking at it more. I mean, I did read the science on it too, and it seems to work. But I wanted to dig a little more into it. That looked interesting. Proteolytic enzymes. Let me see if I can. In order to understand how proteolytic enzymes, it's important to have a basic understanding of enzymes in the body. Enzymes are proteins that facilitate the chemical reaction in living organisms. They are required for every single chemical action that takes place in our body. All body tissues, muscle, bones, organs, and cells are run by enzymes. That's interesting. Your digestive system, immune system, bloodstream, liver, kidneys, spleen, and pancreas, as well as your ability to see, think, feel, and breathe, all depend on enzymes. So supplementing with digestive proteolytic enzymes ease the burden of the meal in the body, so it no longer diverts resources. Supplementing with special proteolytic enzymes between meals, so the enzymes can enter the bloodstream and augment the proteolytic functions of our metabolic enzymes. It's possible to use the goods. So this is the two functions. In America, we think of enzymes mostly as digestive enzymes, but this whole entering the bloodstream so they can work in our proteolytic functions and our metabolic enzymes really is where they get this killing bacteria and virus, boosting immune system, dissolving scar tissue, reducing inflammation, cleansing the blood of debris. So I thought that was an interesting piece. I don't need. This multivitamin is one I talked about. It's got some DNA. It's got alpha lipoic acid, choline in it. Does it have vitamin K, vitamin D, vitamin C? It's a pretty good looking, vanadium. It has a little vanadium in it. 100 milligrams of vanadium. I don't know how much vanadium every day, but that's great for insulin dependency or insulin activity for insulin management. Iodine from kelp, sure, ginkgo biloba in your blood a little bit. So that's a this has supplemental, not maybe enough, but got some and it's helpful. So it's a hell of an interesting multivitamin. Kind of a hybrid. I like it. I think that's it. Certainly don't need to study pregnenolone. That's that post from today. I'll get rid of that. So I'll open up for a few questions and share some things. I was up late last night. For some reason, I'm feeling that. Wanted to share a little bit about my trip this weekend. I went out and hung out with the Ironman Mike Ryan. That was fun. Oh, here's the Health Harvard updates. Why not flaxseed oil? There you go, Michael. Thank you. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, send deck out. Okay, send deck out. Yeah, got it. Awesome. Thanks for the help on the chat board. I was off for a second. Yeah, so I went out with Mike this weekend and, really broke down, more of his training, what he's doing. Got some time at Gold's. And just watch, watch muscle being built, I mean, remember what it is to get the work done. Mike had some great principles and, it's just great to reconnect. He's very optimistic. He's very enthusiastic. He's very motivational. But he's very real, very candid. So, I've known Mike for 20 years, love him, he's great. But, we just talked about training. We went out to the beach. He ran more than I did. I didn't run that. I ran the stairs more than the beach. I went to the gym and trained. And, it was just good old school learning. It reminded me of the value of do the work, as Stephen Pressel would say, just, do the work, man. That's what it's about. It's getting it done. So, that was fun to hang out. Let me cut the mute off and see if anybody's.
You are now unmuted.
Any pressing questions on supplements or anything else that I have shared or updates or other things? Anybody there? You can chat me or you can. Oliver always takes the stage. What's he doing? He had to run.
No, I'm right here, Sean. I'm all ears. I'm taking notes, writing stuff down. I just wanted to not start out this time.
No, for the sake of transparency, Michael, yeah, go ahead. What? I'm watching this screen. Longevity. Yeah, longevity. I think it's a great product and a great blend. I was mistaken at first. It did or didn't have ALA in it, so I presented it having ALA in it. Looks like it doesn't have ALA in it, the second round version. Which still, it doesn't make it a bad. It's still a great product. I mean, I love the ALA component. Yeah, it does have. It has most of the ingredients. I mean, I think it's anything where you're putting the CoQ10 together with the creatine is such a great blend. You know, yeah, and it's you know, it brings in. I got to look at it again too. What all's on it? But it's a it's a great formula. I mean, it's a solid, sound, really sensible formula, and I think it's been flavored well, and yeah. Listed under other ingredients are sucrose and maltodextrin. Oh, thanks. Yeah, just brought it to me. So you got your D3. Hell yeah, 2000 IU. That's great. Thanks. Your zinc. Yeah, zinc's great. Creatine. I like the L-glutamine in it, and the CoQ10, and the carnosine. So I mean, hell, you just covered half the thing there. I mean, it's a great choice. Why? That's such a dense product, man. It's like it feels like a dumbbell when you pick it up. No indication of the amount of sugars. Oh, I don't think there's any. That's interesting, doesn't it? Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that. That's wild. Why didn't you do that? That's funny. That's a really good eye. I don't why. It's a really good question. I don't know. I'll find out though. With the CoQ10, so you got your CoQ10. I mean, it's a great way to cover what you need. It can't be that many sugars, can it? I know. So, which makes me wonder about why it's being obscured. Yeah, that does. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you'd think I'd catch things like that, and I didn't for some reason. I usually do. No indication on it, which makes me wonder. Anyway, you might get it. Yeah, I'll get an answer on it. Is there a limit on how much the body will absorb in terms of vitamins and minerals in one sitting? No, there's no limits. I don't think, I know like if you sit down and take 4 grams of vitamin C, you end up on the toilet. That might be your limits. Some vitamins are more reactive than others you don't want to take. But, when you're taking vitamins, I prefer to take them with foods. I mean, the thing about, full strength is too, I've put a really healthy dose of chelated minerals and vitamins in that, so that's great. And we know that the vitamins are better absorbed with food or with a nutrient complex. So, I'm not absolute that you have to take a multivitamin. It's just one of my obsessions. Is there a limit on the? Yeah, no. So it's one of the things that I do. Any other questions on that? It was a good question on longevity. Thanks, Michael. I will figure out. I assumed it was mostly the stevia and the other stuff flavoring it, and I looked at the label and never really thought about the sugar size. But yeah, interesting. Huh. But that brings me to also, like with full force. That's the only thing that gives me pause. Yeah, that's a good question. That's why with full force, my neurotropic product, energy product, and pre-workout product, I prefer the capsule so much because I know what the hell I'm getting. I can titrate it. I can, I can control my doses, and I don't have to mix a bunch of stuff in there. So many of these pre-workouts and stuff, there's such complex concoctions of stuff because they're trying to get the colors and the flavoring and everything right. And then you end up with this volume, then you have to go mix it in water. I'd rather just pop a capsule, 1, 2, or 3, be set, good to go, right? Find my way. So, anything else? Creatine soup. What did I say about creatine soup? Soap. Oh, creatine soap. Oh, so funny. So, yeah, no, seriously. Creatine does have collagen stimulating capacity to it on the skin, right? So there, and it also seems to have some cancer healing capacity on the skin. So one of my friends across the way runs a natural skincare line. She's in the same office park as me. So we talked about adding the creatine. The thing about the creatine added to a lotion or, soap might be better solution, but it runs off. You want it to stay on. The adding to a lotion is that, we have to look at the stability issues of creatine in fluids. But, when I was out with Mike, here's a funny story. This is kind of a wild story. So I'm out with Mike Ryan, who's been at Gold's for 20-some years, probably 22 years. He used to manage Gold's and worked for me at EAS and has worked with celebrities all around the world, trains The Rock, tons of guys, right? I'm out there with him. I'm out there with the guy who managed Gold's after him, whose name is Mateo Baker, and Mateo owns 220 Fitness on Main Street now, and one other guy, friend of ours, and we're walking across the street to LA Nutritional Place. It's right across from Mateo's. And you walk in, and none of these guys even know what any of these supplements are. They're looking at the stuff on the shelves. I ask them about Muscle Pharma Salt. You seen this? And, Mike's like, what is it? What's it do? And then they just look at it and they go, what a bunch of hooey. What a bunch of crap, So it's like, it's the other side of complexity, you just, what does Mike take? I talked to him about that, he takes omega-3s, he takes multivitamin, he takes creatine, he takes saw palmetto, he takes the joint health, he takes greens. That's it, and, that's it. That's the answer, He likes a pre-workout energy like Full Force. He takes full strength daily, He'll try ursolic acid because it's interesting to see how it works. So, this is really it. This is the basis, man. This is what you need to be focused on. How many manufacturers are there in nutritional products, and how do you go from idea to production? There are hundreds of manufacturers of nutritional products. How do you go from idea to production? Very carefully. I like to do an idea. I like to draw it kind of as a blueprint for a proposal kind of piece. Like the thing is, I got to know what it is I'm trying to solve, what problem I'm trying to solve, and then I've got to look at the science and look at the effective dosage compared to that. So draw a blueprint, and I create kind of a, it's a concept for a proposal, right? And then you got to look at the engineering of it and the reality of creating it, and then the, if you build a really great pill but it costs you, $200 a day, it's not going to be great, right? And then you find a preferred manufacturer that you can work with, that you know and trust through referrals, and then you start buying all of it. It's like anything else. I'll tell you, the hardest one in the world to make is the full strength nutrition shake. Nobody has the guts or glory to make it. They just make crap, and it's just hard to make. It's intensive, it's costly, it's a tough one. You guys got anything else? Longevity I'll find out about.
Sean, I got a question for you. When I listened, I've been doing a lot of research and just trying to get smart, and I found that new man thing with Trip that I found. You talked on there where you must have had back in June or something, a meeting on stuff, for natural ways you advocated, first get your lifestyle in order, which is what we're all doing right now, and then a list of stuff to avoid. You talked about Head and Shoulders, you talked about all kinds of stuff. Is there a good source on the internet where I can research that, or do you have something on hand that works out? And if so, where can I find that?
Well, that's basically what you're talking about is the endocrine disruptors, and yeah. I can share a little bit on it, but there's 833 known endocrine disruptors. So as we speak, I formulated, I was supposed to have the prototypes to you guys when this program started, but I formulated a men's soap, which is an antioxidant-rich soap. I've got a really cool name and brand and position for it, but it's an antioxidant free radical scavenging soap, which is the first ever 100% certified 833 free soap for men. And that idea stays between us. That's my product in development. So I'm making that. The problem with being 833 endocrine disruptors is, you can't realistically go out there and study all things for everything. So the best thing you can do right now is get obvious sins out of your life. So, getting away from the very synthetic chemical-based things, including shampoos and others. Now that doesn't resolve it 100% because tea tree oil and lavender are both endocrine disruptors and some of the worst endocrine disruptors. Yes, I consider a child version of full strength. Talk about that. So what I can tell you right now is get rid of things like don't use Perel hand sanitizer, right?
Okay.
Wash your hands with soap and water because the soap washes off. At home, try and use things that are more tending towards natural. I should have this soap in any day right now. I ordered 50 bars for you guys. It is a really cool product. I use it every day actually, but it's one of the, it helps you get clear on, it gets rid of one of the great sins, what are we putting on our skin, right? When it comes to lotions and stuff, just make sure you get to Whole Foods and pick, these aren't places to skimp a few bucks, right? Make sure you pick a lotion that's as natural and clean as you can get. And that doesn't mean it's 100% free. It's a hell of a lot freer. I mean, if you look at both endocrine disruptors and cancer contributors that are even in Crest toothpaste, you'll blow your mind. So
I know. I got kind of overwhelmed when you talked about that because, there's a lot of stuff out there, and we're just trying to clean this house up and making changes that are good for, obviously my kids and just make a whole shift of momentum around in this house from here on out on what's happening here and what's not happening here. So it can be overwhelming,
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, I think I'm building a report on it right now. That's one of the things I'm working on. I'm building a report on how to avoid this, but I'm making it easier too because I'm providing, at least a base soap to begin with, which will be a men's angle, which really, it's got two angles, and it's antioxidant-rich capacity, which is really an interesting piece I'll get more into, but also the endocrine disruptor-free. And so I really want to focus on, helping men get this crap out of their life. This is, if you look at, anybody ever see the consumer reports on the heavy metal exposure in some of the proteins, and they were really largely ready-to-drinks, which I think it really came from the waters. There's stuff in about everything. You just have to be a lookout. GMO. I don't think the GMO food are endocrine disruptors, but I do believe that one probably shouldn't buy hormone-processed meat from a general grocery store, right?
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. We've already eliminated all that crap out of our lives, after watching Food Inc. and all that stuff. So
yeah, and it's not that you can or have to be perfect. I mean, I still keep some Crest toothpaste around because every once in a while it feels cleaner. I don't know why. I still use.
What do you use? What do you use to clean your teeth?
Tom's every day, Tom's. But the other thing about toothpaste is, and I really do have a guy. I wanted to have my orthodontist buddy on the show, and I'll do a Kryptonite report with him. I'll share with you. But dental health is one of those secret areas for men's health, especially, which is just. I mean, if you really look at, some of the catalyst to arthritis begins in the dental health, dental care.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. I mean, you get the stuff, you get your gum disease even beginning, and then this bacteria gets in your mouth and it gets in your bloodstream. It not only debilitates you for life, but it can kill you. And one of his points was that we use about 10 times too much toothpaste. Floss regularly, yes. Floss regularly. The toothpaste, use less toothpaste. Use the Tom's for now until I come out with something better. But, Tom's
What
of
is that
Maine.
stuff called? Tom's what?
Tom's of Maine. It's just,
Tom's of Maine.
It's I don't know. It's owned by a big company these days. It was purchased. I don't remember who bought it. David asked a minute ago if I've thought about a full strength for kids. Yes, I have. Actually, to be quite candid, the idea of launching this company 6 or 7 years ago, which is hardly have been doing it this long, was to be the Shake Company. I own the ShakeCompany.com. I own the Shake Company strategy. what I wanted to be was the nutrition shake company for everybody. So rather than having Mileplex Deluxe and regular, I would have men's shake, kids shake, teen shake, women's shake, executive version shake, longevity senior shake, a vegan shake. So I've got packaging, positioning, boxes, and formulas for all of them. And all I need is about $3 million to launch the first inventory of them. Because it just costs money, man. You know, I mean, it's a hard one to build. So I've been kind of doing that. My kids beg for a sip of my full strength. I know I got some great stories on people and kids that turn around and take the full strength. It was an interesting story actually. One of the guys at BlendTech used to share this story with us a few years ago. The blender company out in Salt Lake. His son was a baseball pitcher, and he pitched back-to-backs, and he said he was 14, 15 at the time, and he would pitch the first game, and the second game he would just drop. He just couldn't play. I mean, I don't know if he's pitching both games or just playing both games, but he would drop off. And said he started feeding him a full strength, before the first game, and he said he'd go through both games at top-notch performance, and then go home and mow the lawn. It was just like night and day difference. Kid's energy stays up, his performance goes up, his focus goes up, and then he gets home, mows the lawn. Before he was exhausted, and it was just
That's the best part about it.
I know, it's an interesting piece. So I'd love to do the shake company idea. That's really my ultimate quintessential play, because my vision statement for my company is that the nutrition shake can and should be the most predominant form of fast food in America. And when nutrition shake is the most predominant fast food in America, it'll be a different domain. Yeah, Kickstarter, I know, I looked at Kickstarter. Some guy actually is doing a product called Soylent, got a Kickstarter program funded way up, and Soylent, as many people have pointed out to me, has really taken the whole concept of what Full Strength started as. He hasn't even built the product yet. Good luck, dude, because when it comes to building a product like this, you've got to know what you're doing. But it's human, that's it, yep. But Soylent, the languaging and positioning of Soylent is almost verbatim what Full Strength became or was launched on, the life performance fast food. I have proposed before going 30 days with no other food. I've done it for a week myself. Soylent Green, I know. If you know where it comes from, I don't know why he's staying with Soylent. It's a funny thing. I guess it's he's a younger generation and doesn't understand the idea of Soylent Green, I guess. That's it's funny, man. Who doesn't? I don't know, man. Charlton Heston, Soylent Green, baby. There you go, huh?
John, I got two more quick questions. The enzyme, the product that you talked about today, is that the enzyme that Dr. Tom got you on when you had the problem? Because I think I've identified, my chronic stress that I've had and my inflammation of my body, that's probably the root cause of my, why my T started out so low and why now everything is changing. But I want to make sure that I do everything to, deflame my body, if that's the right word for it.
Yeah, I think it's a great word.
Yeah, so is that the stuff you talked about in that podcast, in the Kryptonite Report with Dr. Tom?
Yes, that is it. Marcozyme. He has a couple versions of it. There's other enzymes that do work, but Marcozyme is the one that really kind of the original pioneering one and the one I like to use.
Okay.
I should put it on my cart so I can sell it. I haven't been. Dr. Tom has it, and he'll deliver it. So he can get it sold right now. I'm not carrying it. I should be.
Okay.
I like Marcozyme a lot. That is it. And what I recommend doing is give it 60 days, give it a 30 and 30-day trial, and see how it feels, how your body feels, how your body responds to it.
Okay.
I love it. David asked me, is it the same as probiotics? Marcozyme is not. Probiotics are probiotics. The probiotics for gut health, and the Marcozyme is an enzyme. It's different than a biotic or an organism. It's an enzyme. And enzymes isn't it funny? They're like very subtle. It's kind of an interesting crossover, but they are different. The Marcozyme, it can work as a great digestive enzyme. Go have a big giant steak and pound some Marcozyme, you're going to feel a lot better quickly. But if you take it on that empty stomach, it's going to go into your bloodstream and start doing the thing it's supposed to do, which is scavenge out the inflammation and like you said, it even can kill bacteria and viruses in the body. The other thing I want to reference, if I made some confusion stuff to the creatine when I posted some of the studies, I mean, the Professor Andro sometimes has some circular logic. He'll run with the study point, and then he'll come back to a conclusion. And sometimes I actually chase him, and I'm like, oh, so he's saying after workout this or that. And ultimately, he's saying, and not always very clearly, empty stomach first thing in the morning is a great time for creatine. So that was the empty stomach first thing in the morning is a great time for creatine. So I go back, I want to reference that again, make sure that I make that point. Omega-3s, I still like, 2 grams at least a day, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know a lot of guys that take 9, 6, 7 grams a day is probably great. I still like krill oil too. I didn't talk about that. I like the krill oil a lot. It seems to concentrate and work well.
Sean, I recently started using the fish oil, and it says 1,000 milligrams of fish oil. But if you look on the side label, it says 300 milligrams of omega-3. Do I go with the 300 milligrams then for a dose, or is it the 1,000, or which is it? I'm confused.
I'm confused too. I don't know. Which brand is that? From the Whole Foods or something?
Yeah, well, it's in the fridge. I gotta go get it. Hey, babe. Oh, she's upstairs.
Yeah, Michael. Yes, timing is non-issue with creatine. I mean, the idea that they were getting some better, slightly marginal effect in a post-workout, it was so ridiculously marginal, and all they were doing was getting it because there was an insulin sensitivity, and whether that would sustain or last or was just a short-term kick. I mean, it just doesn't. I don't think it matters. Even Dr. Andro said, Professor Andro was like, it ultimately just doesn't matter. It's just meaningless. Can you mix creatine with glutamine and have it together? Yes. Yeah. Great. No problem. Great choice. Yeah. No. Great together. One of the things they pointed out in the study, he did say he does not like, and is not as effective to take creatine with a protein or with food, because of the acidic change. It would probably be less impactful with a nutrition shake. But I think we've all kind of come to the conclusion that it's, for most people, not an ideal situation to take creatine with a protein shake because it just blows your gut up. So not a good choice.
Hey, Sean, I got that stuff right here. It's Sundown Naturals, and it says 1,000 milligram, and then it says naturally contains 300 milligrams of omega-3, and on the back it says fish oil 1,000 milligrams, but then provides 300 milligrams of total omega-3 fatty acid containing of, and then EPA and DHEA. So am I taking 1,000 now, or am I taking 300? What's the deal?
So that wasn't the brightest thing I've ever done. So sorry. I went to search for the Sundown Naturals just to look at the label, and I blasted right out of this thing. So blasted it right out of Meeting Burner. Oops. I don't know. Let's look at the label on it. "300 milligrams of negative fatty acid comprising EPA, DHEA." I don't know why that is. I'm not used to seeing that.
Yeah, it's weird. I might just have to change it. It's just something that just picked up. My wife picked up, just to get started. But I don't know how much I'm taking actually, because I'm confused about the label.
Well, that might be something that's might be more normal than I know, and for some reason I'm not accustomed to that. So let me see. Let's look at the supplement facts. So, fish oil concentrate, 3195 DHEA, molecularly distilled. This is 800. I don't think it's a lot different. I think that's just the nature of it. So I would just assume that it's thousands of thousands, and you're getting. No wonder they say take 3,000 a day, probably, right?
Yeah, they say 3 a day, but I'm doing 5 a day.
Good. Just take that and call it good. It'll be great.
Okay. Perfect.
Better 90% of the world be kicking butt. There we go.
Perfect. And Sean, is there a supplement? This might be a dumb question, but this is also new to me, that supports lowering cortisol, or is it just chilling out?
Lowering cortisol. There's phosphatidylcholine has some capacity to lower cortisol, and that's probably the most potent one. There's the thing about it is it takes a lot to lower cortisol, and it's not that effective. Even so it's been overblown by some people, oversold. But it doesn't really work that well. And then a buddy of mine, Chris Lockwood, wrote a research study, or wrote a scientific review of cortisol lowering, and his point was that cortisol lowering would be a dangerous, stupid thing to do ultimately. So,
okay, so just lifestyle and just
lifestyle, is the best way to go. And the only other thing that can help with that is, there are relaxing nutrients. Glutamine can most often be a relaxing nutrient. GABA is relaxing. GABA, GABA is very relaxing. So theamine, thiamine, so it's like a tea. It's found in teas, can be relaxing. So there's a few nutrients that are, the tryptophan can be really relaxing. So kind of a blend of those things, which are a little bit of a instead of an up or a downer, can be helpful. And I can put a mix together and show you what that is. Yeah, so that's the way to go. I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Wine's not very relaxing, even though it seems so. The link to Full Force. If you want Full Force, send Jody an email. I don't have it online, so Jody at fullstrength.com. Send an email for Full Force. So some people are using it. I used one today before I went and ran the stairs. I used 2. So that was good. Let me see where I'm at time-wise. Oh, it's time probably to get a wrap on this. So I'm going to set up, I said I'd do it yesterday. I've got 2 things I'm going to do. I'm going to set up, we've got a call this afternoon with Mike Ryan. We're going to get on with Mike. We're going to talk about some fundamentals and some enthusiastic pieces of that. I have the audio tracks ready to download. I'll put downloadable links and maybe put them up so you can even listen to them without downloading them. That might be easier for some. I'll put NeuroStrength and one other meditation track up. And I've got something else I got to do. What else? I got to send the deck out. Links are great. Meeting at goals. I'll give you Better Fitness Products, Full Force. Oh, funny, you found Better Fitness Products, Full Force. That's funny. Yeah, that's my buddy Ron's site. He's still listing it, selling it. Wow. Huh. Cool. Yeah, that's funny. Yep. Focus Intensity Formula. Nice search. Yeah, that's a good product, man. You really look at it. It's a hell of a good product. I love those capsules. They're cool.
Awesome.
That's a good one. That's it. What the hell's my problem not selling that thing? Kept it in the Special Forces world. But you haven't tried it? Marco, I'll send some Full Force intro. It's great. It's great pre-workout. It's so sane, effective, simple. I mean, not simple. It's great. It's just great stuff. For Full Force, it's just the cost of shipping, whether it's $5, $6, $7, $8, whatever shipping is. It's free. Yeah, you can get a bottle for free with your order, Michael. I'll send you, or I can send you. I think we just sent you full strength, so I'll send you a full horse. Not a problem. Get a new batch built. But still, you can have what we've got. And so I've got the Mike Ryan discussion this afternoon. I'm just going to do that with him because we're going to kick some butt. Golds, we'll have to set dates on it. I mean, we're going to do multiple things. Mike and I are going to go into a lot bigger adventure in the gold thing. So it's going to be a lot of stuff. I think just getting the opportunity to go out there and get a couple days of workout with Mike and really going through what it takes and seeing it firsthand and having, man camp to be a real kick in the ass. I mean, you talk about a testosterone boosting festival. That's it.
Dude, sign me up. Sign me up, Sean.
Yeah, man camp would be a kick. Out on the beach at Venice and running the beach, doing the piers, going to Golds, go to the stairs, get out for some real dinner, enjoy some sushi, listen to some stories from Mike that he can't tell on radio, which is always priceless. Use a day planner. How do you organize your day? I just do it by Braille. Test Fest, that's funny. Test Fest, nice one, Sherrod. I do it by Braille. I actually do a yellow small legal pad and just run a to-do list. You're still getting my screen share, right? Because this thing's all screwed up right now. So, and so what I'm doing, I'm setting up no screen share. Oh, damn, no. Could be sharing. All right, well, I'll wrap it anyway. Yeah, I like the man camp thing. So tomorrow I'm going to put on some open call-in times for, maybe still do some this afternoon too. My thought on the calls was this. I set up Uber conference. In the Uber conference, what I can do is call in, and I'll be on the calls. And that way, instead of trying to connect one-on-one, if I'm just sitting on the phone for an hour or two, whoever calls in first gets the questions, right? You get the seat. You get the hot seat. So you get to ask your questions, and the next person. And that way, I'm, because the biggest conflict I had with the personal calling was just getting the calls done, the timing, right? So I think having more open space just makes so much more sense. I'm sorry it took me so long to figure it out, but I think I figured it out. So that's the way to go. So thanks for getting on this one. Let's wrap this call. I'm glad to have got the supplements done in a sensible manner. It can be a very complex issue, and it just gets overwhelming. And the reality is there's some things you want to test, some things you want to take, and some things you want to consider, and keeping it simple. Yeah, I'll post the phone number. Yeah, handout by this evening. Yeah, handout. I'll do this. The handout on this show. Yeah, I'll just turn it into PDF right now. I'll take this in to turn it into PDF and send it out and post it on. It'll take me 10 or 15 minutes to do it. All right, so you got it. All right, man. All right, guys, kick ass. Thanks, bud. Keep on it, man. Thanks for everything. Talk to you.